In 2025, something big is happening in Asia. One by one, powerful nations are standing up to Donald Trump and saying, "We're not following your lead." These countries are not just ignoring his policies, they're pushing back hard, and it's sending a loud message to the rest of the world. America doesn't run the show anymore. Today we're breaking down how 10 major Asian countries turned their backs on Trump's plans, one bold move at a time. From banning his rallies to blocking his business, this is the list you don't want to miss. Let's count them down. Number 10, Malaysia. Malaysia, a key player in Southeast Asia, took a major step in 2025 by rejecting permits for Trump-connected political events. The reason? Malaysian officials feared these rallies would stir up anger and pull their country into global drama they didn't want. Malaysia is a peaceful, diverse nation. It's home to many cultures and religions. Leaders there didn't want Trump's aggressive tone creating division. They acted fast to protect unity. But the rejection went deeper than just rallies. Malaysia started drifting away from US-centered alliances and leaned closer to China's growing economy. As Chinese money poured into Malaysian roads, railways, and energy projects, the government saw little need to follow Trump's America First vision. They even turned away from US-led partnerships built during Trump's first term, calling them outdated. Malaysia wanted modern, fair partnerships, not ones based on old power games. On the digital front, social media companies in Malaysia took action too. They cracked down on Trump-related posts saying they spread false info or caused harm. Young people in Malaysia backed this move. They didn't want their online world filled with dangerous ideas. Malaysia didn't just close the door politically, they shut it online too. Number 9, Pakistan. In 2025, Pakistan made some pretty bold moves. Instead of just staying quiet, they actually tightened visa rules for groups connected to Trump. The government warned that these people might bring in harmful beliefs and honestly, could spark division across the country. You know, Trump had been pretty critical of Pakistan in the past, so this time, Pakistan made it clear they weren't going to be used for any political games. One big area of disagreement was military ties. When a few US generals close to Trump suggested joint military drills, Pakistan just said no. They explained that their defense choices wouldn't be dictated by anyone else. This was a clear sign. They were putting their national interests first. Trump didn't really help his case either. He went on a rant online attacking Pakistan's leadership, and that sparked protests in major cities. People took to the streets, demanding their government stay strong and keep Trump out. In the end, Pakistan drew a line. They wanted to make their own decisions without foreign pressure, and they definitely weren't afraid to show it. Number 8, Indonesia. In 2025, Indonesia took a tough economic stance. They cut ties with Trump-era trade deals that had been promoted as big wins. Why? Well, because when you looked at the fine print, those deals really favored the US and could hurt local businesses. Indonesian farmers and factory workers were especially at risk. Plus, environmental groups raised the alarm saying Trump's trade proposals totally ignored climate issues. And Indonesia, already facing serious climate challenges, was like, no thanks. Young Indonesians helped drive the message even further. They launched online campaigns to boycott Trump products and hotels. Their message was clear. Indonesia wants leaders who care about people, not just profits. Religion played a big role too. Many Indonesians were offended by Trump's earlier anti-Muslim comments. In 2025, officials strongly condemned his continued harsh language. Religious and political leaders stood together, warning that this kind of speech just had no place in Indonesia. So Indonesia's rejection wasn't just about business, it was about values, culture, and choosing what's right for their people. Number 7, Kazakhstan. In 2025, Kazakhstan took a pretty big step by removing Trump-related media from its national satellite networks. The government said this content was spreading harmful propaganda and could really stir up trouble. They wanted to protect their society from foreign influence that didn't reflect local values. The decision had strong support. Kazakhstan is working to modernize its systems and promote national unity, and letting Trump-style media flood the airwaves would only slow that progress. Diplomatically, they also pulled back from US figures close to Trump. Instead, Kazakhstan built closer ties with countries like China, Turkey, and their nearby neighbors. Cybersecurity became another major issue. Analysts discovered that fake accounts tied to Trump supporters were spreading false stories during local elections. Kazakhstan acted fast. They launched investigations and passed stronger laws against foreign election interference. Kazakhstan wasn't just rejecting one man, they were drawing a bold line to keep their democracy safe. Number 6, South Korea. In 2025, South Korea made it clear they wouldn't be bullied on defense. When Trump said the United States should pull its troops from the Korean peninsula unless South Korea paid more, officials called the idea dangerous. Unlike past leaders who tried to stay neutral with Trump, this time South Korea stood firm. Their military leaders said their country wouldn't be used as a bargaining chip. Even pop culture got involved. K-pop stars, YouTubers, and filmmakers all spoke out against Trump's views. Through music and media, they encouraged unity and global cooperation. The message reached millions. Trump's name soon vanished from South Korean pop culture. And when his allies tried to visit, they were quietly denied meetings with officials. South Korea wasn't rude, but they were clear. They wanted no connection with Trump's approach. Number 5. Bangladesh. In 2025, Bangladesh shocked the world by rejecting millions in Trump-connected foreign aid. Leaders said this money came with political strings attached. They didn't want outside forces controlling their country's choices. Trump's past trade threats still haunted Bangladesh, especially in its clothing industry. Workers and business owners remembered how his policies hurt their jobs. So when more pressure came in 2025, Bangladesh said no. Instead, they looked for better trade partners, like the European Union and nearby Asian countries, so they wouldn't have to rely on the United States. Activists inside Bangladesh also helped drive the message. They warned that Trump's ideas could hurt democracy. They held forums, passed out flyers, and started petitions. The people were engaged and demanded that their leaders reject Trump-style politics. Bangladesh showed that even a small country can protect its values when it stands united. Number 4. Philippines. The Philippines had a strong reaction in 2025. It started with a leaked recording of Trump mocking Filipino immigrants. That was the final straw. The president of the Philippines didn't stay silent. He called Trump's comments insulting and outdated. The country had had enough of being disrespected. In response, the Philippines put its military agreement with the United States on hold. This deal allowed American troops to stay in the country. Pausing it sent a strong message. They would no longer accept one-sided partnerships. Celebrities and media helped amplify this rejection. TV shows, musicians, and influencers across the country criticized Trump's track record on immigration and race. It became a national conversation. In the Philippines, this wasn't just about politics. It was about pride and self-respect. People stood up together to protect their identity and their future. Number 3. Taiwan. Taiwan took a very different approach. Instead of making loud announcements, they stayed silent when Trump's allies tried to restart diplomatic ties. Why? Because dealing with Trump could trigger trouble with China. Taiwan didn't want to be dragged into a conflict. Leaders made a smart choice. They avoided meetings, refused photo ops, and stayed focused on stable, long-term partnerships with trusted nations. Tech companies in Taiwan also stepped in. They stopped running ads on Trump-linked platforms, saying those sites were unsafe and full of misinformation. In a country where digital reputation matters, this move spoke volumes. Taiwan wasn't interested in being part of Trump's world. They chose quiet strength over attention. Number 2. Japan. Japan made waves in 2025 when top companies announced they wouldn't do business with Trump's brand anymore. Business leaders said they didn't want to risk their reputations by being linked to someone so divisive. This hit Trump hard. Japan is known for its high standards and global influence in business. Once Japan pulled out, other countries took notice. The Japanese government also had something to say. When Trump demanded Japan spend more on U.S. military support, officials reminded him that their alliance was built on trust, not pressure. At a time of rising tension in Asia, Japan focused on strengthening teamwork with regional allies. Trump's style didn't fit with their plans. Public opinion followed suit. News articles, classroom discussions, and online conversations turned Trump into an example of what not to follow. Japan's rejection was quiet but powerful, just like its diplomacy. Number 1. China. Of all the countries that pushed back, China hit the hardest. In 2025, the Chinese government put strict sanctions on Trump's business partners. They froze real estate deals, stopped tech investments, and cut off financial access. The reason? China said Trump was no longer just a critic. He was a threat to stability. Then came the travel bans. Trump and his closest allies were blacklisted. Chinese news outlets called them agents of division, and the foreign ministry warned others not to follow their example. It didn't stop there. In the digital world, Chinese tech companies launched full campaigns against Trump's platforms. They called it digital colonization. Search engines and social media sites blocked his name. State-run influencers mocked his policies. In every space, economic, political, and cultural, China erased Trump. It wasn't just a rejection, it was a full removal. So, there you have it, 10 powerful Asian nations that stood up and said no to Donald Trump in 2025. From business bans to social media shutdowns, each country took a different approach, but the message was the same: Trump doesn't call the shots here anymore. Which country's actions surprised you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and tell us, where are you watching from? If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to check out the next video on your screen. And if you know someone who still thinks Trump has worldwide support, share this video with them. The world is changing, and these countries are making sure they're in control of their own future.